What's up guys, you're welcome and you're welcome back to my channel. In this video I'll show you how to make this cold shoulder dress. So let's get started. First is to fold your fabric into 4 places, and then the next thing is to take your shoulder measurement. So you divide your shoulder measurement by 2. I have 7.5 because my shoulder measurement is 15 inches. And then you come down on this line by 9 inches for the armhole. And then you bring this line down to this place, like so. So on this line, I'll take my bust measurement. So you divide your bust measurement by 4. I have 9 inches. We're not adding any seam allowance to this because it's a stretchy fabric. And then for the waist measurement, you come down by 16 inches. For the hip measurement, you come down by 24 inches. So I have 16 inches for the waist and 24 for the hip. And then I'll rule a line here and rule a line here. So on this line, I'll take the waist measurement. So you divide your waist measurement by 4. I have 8.5. No seam allowance. And then for the hip measurement, you divide your hip measurement again by 4. I have 10.5. So I draw the line, connect the lines down to this place. And then I'll come over to this place, which is the armhole. I'll take 1 inch. I'll mark it here for the armhole curve. So you come over to the shoulder, you take 1/2 inch. And then you take the shoulder curve, slant I mean. Take the shoulder slant with 1/2 inch. And then let's do the bottom. For the bottom, I'll use hip measurement minus 1 inch. So my hip measurement is 10.5. Minus 1 inch is 9.5. And then I'll mark the line here. And then draw the line and connect it to the hip. So the bottom is hip measurement minus 1 inch. And then I'll cut. And this is what I'll have. So the next thing is to cut out the neckline. So for the neckline, you use 3 inches for the width. And then you use 1 inch for the back neckline. So you mark your 1 inch. And you make a curved line here for the back neckline. So for the front neckline, I'll use 3 inches. So I have 1 inch for the back neckline, 3 inches for the front neckline. And then I'll make a curved line here. And then the first thing is to cut the back neckline, which is the 1 inch. So before I separate the back from the front, I'll take out 1.5 inch from the shoulder measurement. So I took out 1.5 inch. And then I'll mark a line here and just draw a slant line down to this place. and then I'll cut. To separate the back piece from the front piece to cut the front neckline. And so you cut out the 3 inches for the front neckline. So before we cut out the sleeves, we're going to measure where we want the sleeve to start from. So I want my sleeve to start from 5 inches. So I'm going to mark a notch here, like so. And then I'm going to measure what I have left. So I have about 5.5 inches left. And then the length of your sleeve will be marked from the notched part to wherever you want your sleeve to stop. So for mine, I have 16 inches. And then I added 3 inches to it, so I have 19 inches. So the next thing is to take your bicep measurement. For mine, I have 12 inches. And you divide that by 3. So I'll have 4 inches. So I'll mark my 4 inches here. Then add 1 inch for seam allowance, or half an inch. And then I'm going to come down here like this and make a slant line here. So when I take this measurement, I should have about 5.5 or 6 inches. So I have 6 inches, I'll mark it here. So this is for the armhole. So when you measure this, you have 5.5. When you measure this, you have about 6 inches. And then on the bottom, I'll come down and take my round sleeve measurement. I have 4.5. Add half an inch. And then just draw the line down to this place, like so. Sorry. And then I'll make a curved line here like this. And then I'll cut. To get the wrist measurement, you take your wrist measurement and you divide it by 2. That's what I have. I have 4.5. And then I'll cut. So it's wrist measurement divided by 2. So this is what I'll have. So with the right sides facing each other, you go ahead and join the shoulders together. So after joining the shoulders together, you remember to mark where you want your sleeve to start from. So from my shoulder joining to where the sleeve is about 4.5 inches. So I'll take my sleeve. So I'll go ahead and place the sleeve on this part, right sides facing each other. I'll pin it and then pin it to the end. I hope you can see it. And then you do the same for the other side. You pin it to the notched part. And you go ahead and sew it together like this. You sew it to the body of the dress. So after joining the sleeves, you go ahead and pin the armholes together. And then you sew the sides of the dress from the sleeve to the bottom. You sew it down to the end. So I've done the other side. So the next thing is to go ahead and try your dress on to know if it fits or if there's need for adjustments. For the neckband, you measured the neckline. You go ahead and measure the entire neckline. For mine, I have 18 inches. So I'll mark the midpoint of the neckline also. So I'll take the neckline, I'll fold it like this, and then notch the midpoint here, and then notch the midpoint at the back too. For the neckband, I've cut this piece of 17.5 inches. Since my neckline is 18 inches, I cut 17.5, and then I made it 5 inches wide. So I'll go ahead and sew this with 1/2 inch. I'll sew it together. So after sewing it together, you fold it like this, right sides facing each other, and then you notch the midpoint. You fold it and notch the midpoint, which is here. You take the notched part, which is the midpoint of the band, you pin it to the front part. You pin it like this. And then you take the stitched part to the back side, to the back notched line, and then you pin it together. And then you sew the entire band to the neckline. You sew it together. So after fixing the neckband, you go ahead and hem this part of the sleeve. You roll it in with 1/2 inch like this, and then you hem the bottom of the sleeve, and then lastly you hem the bottom of the dress, and that's it. So here's the cold shoulder midi length dress. Please like and share this video, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, please click the subscribe button below. I love you for watching. Thank you.